Welcome back to Music Rankings, Reviews, and More. And today we are back with our third and final album that we were reviewing from the day, June 2nd of 2023. This is the new Avenged Sevenfold album titled Life is But a Dream. This is definitely the most interesting and polarizing, regardless of how you feel about this album, of that day. So we were all really excited to come and review this for sure. There are four of us here, the first time since the new Metallica album, which is back in April. So yeah, basically, just again, like a little run through of how this will go. We'll get into our strengths and weaknesses, track breakdown, which there are 11 tracks to break down, and then best worst tracks, overall thoughts, and our final rating, a score out of 10. So that's basically how this will go. Pretty much same as usual. The order for this one, since just to remind people, since we have four people, I'll speak first, then Mariah, then Christoph, and then Nick. Just go in that order, sharing thoughts. So I don't think there's too much else to say, but that's just a quick overview of how this will go. So starting off with strengths and weaknesses, both of these will be in the same segment. So for strengths, I wrote down it's a diverse album. Regardless how you feel, you cannot deny that it's definitely diverse. There's a type of song here for all types of sounds for sure. Also, there is some decent guitar playing and solos that save this album from like being a train wreck. I kind of already gave my thoughts with that one sentence, but there's a lot more. And the last strength I wrote down is it ain't boring. You're not going to be bored by this. You're not like, oh, this is so boring, I can't. There's other reasons to dislike this though, which is why we get on to the weaknesses now. That was literally all I wrote for strengths, and here are weaknesses. So number one of the biggest is the fact that it has weak, dry production that's like a well-done steak. And if you know steak, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the god-awful transitions are the next big thing here. They're not interesting. They're not smooth. They're really bad. And it shamelessly rips off everyone from Metallica, Muse, System of a Down, Alice in Chains, Daft Punk, Owl City, and even Frank Sinatra. Yes, I kid you not. Also, there is less than awesome vocal tone, and that's putting it lightly. The vocals are very weak and strained. Also, it's not cohesive like whatsoever. One of the least cohesive albums I think I've heard of this year and possibly of all time. The lyrics, despite having interesting topics, are just really poor execution. And also there's tons of self-sabotaging, like AJR type moments on here. Not to that extent, maybe, but just you know what I
Yes.
mean. And also the one of the biggest strengths, even though I mentioned it last, is that there is no album theme. It's really just a clusterfuck of a mess. So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
wrote down for strengths and weaknesses.
Basically. All right. So for me, strengths were some of the acousticy, slower vocals are nice, and overall there is pretty good guitar work for the most part. There's a couple times I don't like it. And solos, there's some good intros and outros. There's some sweet lyrical moments. It's diverse and it's not boring. Kind of similar to what you said. Like you're not gonna be bored by it. Is that a good thing? Probably not. But it's not like that. Weaknesses. I said it. This doesn't feel like a dream. It feels like a nightmare of too much clamoring for attention, and none of it works. Like it's
Yeah.
just everything all at once.
Accurate.
Uh, and it's the album itself is about feels like as much of a mess as its album cover does. Like the cover looks like a mess, and it kind of tells you what you're gonna get. There's a lot of unnecessary sound, weird added like effects, some weak vocals, rip-off sounding songs, like you said, Frank Sinatra being the weirdest choice. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
like you have this like crazy metal vocal in the first song and Frank Sinatra ripoff on the same album. Like I don't know. It just feels like they were trying to do like five songs at once in one. Like there's just way too much going on, and they can't get out of their own way. Like they can't get out of their own way for any song out of this. There's no song that it's like, yeah, that flowed well. It's always something that's like, why? No one asked for that. Nobody wanted that in the song. Like you're hurting yourself. It just feels like everyone's bad ideas. It just no one. They're like, nothing's a bad idea. Let's put it all in the album, and it doesn't work. The auto tune is awful. The album isn't slightly cohesive. Yeah, they just shot themselves in the foot. And the more lines in the "We Love You" is one of my least favorite things in an album ever. That entire song drives me up a
Yeah.
wall.
It's so
Yep.
bad. Yeah.
We'll get
It's
into that
so bad.
later.
Weak
We'll,
vocal
we'll we'll
moments,
get into
awful
it.
transition. There's an awful duet in here. There's some really brain dead lyrics. There's some bad intros and outros. There's not much substance to the songs. I mean, there's a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah.
But I'll just kind of end it there on some of that.
Yeah. Also, before Christoph, you get in, maybe you should not read everything you wrote because it would take like even longer than me or Mariah. Like you wrote so much. Surprising. It actually
not everything,
surprised me
but-
how much you wrote. But yeah, you can go.
Yeah, so I agree with most of those. Like the vocals are just they're kind of weak and strained. The transitions are just basically straight up flaming garbage. If I'm being honest, like it goes from like chill, like calm acoustics to like like in like 0.5 seconds. Like you cannot do that.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
yeah.
Wait till Christoph
In
discovers
hell! It's just like, what is this?
Like that just does not work for me. A bunch of the songs like just basically sound like they're ripping off completely other artists. There were at least 4 songs where I was like, this sounds like Daft Punk. Why do you have 4 songs where you sound like Daft Punk? Honestly.
Daft
You don't
Punk
want to sound like
supremacy.
Daft Punk to begin
Woo!
with.
I know, like if you're Daft Punk, yeah, that's fine, but like you're Avenged Sevenfold, what are you doing? Seriously. Yeah, then mixing is just not good. The lyrics not good. The album cover just sucks, and yeah, I'll just keep it at that for now.
Do you have any strengths?
Oh, strength.
Oh,
I
yeah.
almost forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds so bad. There's like you forget that you have to mention those.
I wrote down 3 total bullet points for strengths. Crazy, I know.
Hmm.
Like, some of the guitar riffs were good. Some of the guitar
Yeah,
solos were
true.
also
That's
pretty
true.
good. I like the shredding in some parts, and the drumming also I thought was decent to good for most of it. And it's very creative and unique. I'll put it that.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
I've
all
never
those
heard an album
points.
like this before, and I don't
Yeah,
think I ever
I
need to
agree.
again.
Exactly.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So for strengths, I think one of the main strengths of this album is they were clearly not like they had full creativity like on set. They weren't worried about commercial success at all, for better or worse. More strengths, the guitar work was pretty good, and that's about it. Now weaknesses.
True.
Okay.
That's actually so true.
No!
Now weaknesses. Probably one of the worst album flows on an album I've ever heard. Like the songs are just it makes no sense. Also, the vocals. Why? I don't have that much of a problem with autotune, but if it sounds like that, that's a problem. A big problem. The production, horrible. Like, what were they thinking?
They weren't. That's kind of the point, is they weren't thinking.
Yeah.
There was no thought involved.
Yeah,
There was no one there to tell M Shadows that what he was doing, all these ideas were
the
bad
vocals
ideas.
sounded more nasally than ever, with autotune added to it, so it sounds probably worse.
Yeah.
And to sum it up, the album is called "Life Is But a Dream," which reminds me of that one. Reminds me of that one nursery rhyme, and I hate that nursery rhyme, just like this album. So, yeah.
There you go.
Well,
That sums it up pretty well, at least for strengths and weaknesses. And reminder, we will do an overall summary at the end, which is definitely different, but some similarities. So, with that being said, track list, we are going to crucify this album to the ground to let you know how each song is super bad, except for like maybe 1 or 2 songs here and there. But like outside of that, we're going to crucify this shit to the ground. Let's
Pretty
go.
much.
Track number 1, Game Over. So yeah, Welp, here we go. And I did not say well, here we go. I said Welp as in like tears because I really don't want to listen to this ever again. I never will. Okay, this album is in the garbage truck already. It's heading to some dump, in Seattle. So anyway, this song features some very lackluster, and that's being nice, transitions, and feels like multiple ideas shoved into one, which sometimes can work out for the good, just not in this album. And again, yeah, here it's not really good. It's that simple. Parts of this song sound shamelessly like either a mix of Metallica or System of a Down, intended or not. And I don't really know if that was the intention, but it's just bad. And also the overuse of the kick drum here, like, oh my God, that's like way too much kick drum. That definitely is a thing. And then of course the vocals here, they're actually not that bad on this track. They get worse as the album goes on for sure. But I just really cannot understand what the fuck he's saying in this song in parts of it.
It's nonsense.
It's a lot of nonsense. Yeah, like you said, nonsense. And I don't really care to hear the vocals and like the lyrics because it's just the music here is not that good. It's that plain and simple.
Yeah, pretty much fair enough. So my thoughts on this one. First of all, what a horrible way to kick off an album. Like, period. Like, this is just bad. But there are a couple of things that are okay. Like the instrumental opening is nice, and the intro in general is fine, and it kind of lulls you into, oh, this is gonna be all right. But as soon as the vocals kick in, I want the song to stop like immediately. Like
Facts.
I don't want to listen to it anymore. It's a lot of fast, unintelligible vocals that are pretty nonsensical. And I looked it up. They're just a bunch of random words that don't even make sense. And the kick drum, yeah, that's awful. It's too much. And I'm just like, no, I hate this combination. Like it's bad. There's no real rhythm to it. And then you get very different vocals, and then you get the fast vocals again, and the transitions are just really jarring. It's just like, what am I listening to? Is this one song? Like the slower vocal parts are fine, but this song makes no sense in any possible way. Even if the last verse is okay, I like the entire song to be a little bit more like that, but it's not. It's garbage. It's a mess. Like it's a headache. It's bad.
Yeah. I can already tell I'm gonna really enjoy you throughout this review. This is so funny. Okay, Christoph.
Yeah, so yeah, this song, yeah, the just like the acoustic parts, they're not bad. It's just like boring. And then, well, yeah, it sounds like a complete ripoff of System of a Down. The very fast vocals, in System of a Down's case that works, but this case no. Just stop, please. And then also like as you said, Cyrus, like it sounds like a ripoff of Metallica, but specifically it reminds me of Saint Anger, which is the
Oh
worst
yeah,
thing you
facts.
can rip
Yeah, with
off
the
of
kick drum.
Metallica.
I would say
It
Lulu.
sounds
Or
like
that,
Saint
but-
Anger, yeah.
Like that's the
I
worst.
would
If you're
say it
gonna
sounds
rip
more
off
like
Metallica,
Lulu.
if you're gonna rip off Metallica,
Yeah.
pick a good album. Like Saint Anger's. Come on, come on.
Don't pick Saint Anger. Literally anything but that or Lulu, and you're doing at least okay.
Yeah, and then the lyrics, to say the least, they aren't very good. A bunch of random words, basically, just screaming. The guitar solo and the guitar riff, I thought those were good. That's like about it. Transitions are just way too abrupt. Goes from
Oh
super
my
energetic to
gosh.
slow in like no time at all. The vocals sound, a bit weak and strained, but that gets worse as the album goes on. And yeah, this song is just really just weird and it's just kind of annoying. So yeah.
Facts.
So my thoughts on this song. I guess I could say it is a good opening to this album because it lets you know exactly what you're in for. Not good. So I guess in that case it's pretty fitting opening. But other
Fair.
than that, I can't think of a good thing to say about this album. It's nonsense. The lyrics are horrible. Like just random words. Kick drumming I didn't mind that much, but it wasn't great. The opening riff is fine. The acoustics are all right, but yeah, a lot of the song just felt like a jumbled mess. Like at certain times it was like really fast, and then like a second later it's like slow, and it's a jumbled mess pretty much. And I understand some people may like this, but like if you like coherent songwriting, if you like not losing brain cells when listening to music, I would just run as far away as possible from the song.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
had to
And it
listen
only
to it
gets
twice,
downhill from here.
unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's a good. Moving on to the second song, like you said, it only goes downhill. And this one, holy hell, does it fall off a cliff? So yeah, look, I know M Shadow recently had some vocal surgery, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. However, but if I have to hear this laughable line, this is like one of the worst lines I've ever heard in a song. It probably would actually make my top 20 worst vocal lines ever. Now I know I'm not going to mock it. It's too bad. Now I know this might sound crazy, but I've smelled the plastic daisies. Number one, I don't even like that lyric, so that doesn't help. Number two, the
I've heard
vocals are
worse.
terrible. And I've never heard worse pronunciation of the word crazy in a song. It sounds like he's saying grazy with a G. It's terrible. Like it's really bad. And
It's so bad.
so
I've
I was
heard
thinking, so I was listening to this, right? And I'm thinking to myself, if I have to hear this plastic daisy shit one more time, I think I'm going to go deaf, or I think I'd rather. And that line is one of the worst vocal tones and pronunciations I've heard in a long ass
And he
time.
repeats it. He
I
doesn't
know.
just say
That's what I
once.
was going to say. He sings it 3 times in the song. I was counting. I was like, oh, I swear to God, if I have to hear this again. But yeah, anyway, so there's some more not up to par transitions, not as much as bad as the first track, but still pretty awful. Yeah, so that they also follow up on this track, like the previous one. The only thing worse than having to hear that Plastic Daisy shit once, like I said, coming back to hear it a second time and then a third. Then later on this track, they try to become Muse. I don't even know why. It just really offended me because one, their talent is nowhere near them, and also number two, like that it's not the right sound that they should have been going for. Especially like ripping them off is just weird to me. Especially because Muse has also ripped off bands as well, like Queen on their last album. They very much ripped off in one of their songs, so it's just really weird to hear that and see it. And yeah, again, it just sounds like too many different songs for it to even be memorable, really.
Mm-hmm. And with that review given, you'd think this is the worst song on the album, but it's not.
Oh, it's up there. It's up there. It's up there for me.
It's up. Oh no, it's up there. But I have a clear least favorite, and we have not gotten to that one yet.
Me too.
I think we all have the same least favorite. Honestly, I think we're all gonna agree on that.
Probably because it was so awful. Okay, so
facts.
This song. First of all, the instrumentals don't even feel like they fit the vocals. Like, it doesn't feel like he's singing the same song as they're playing. So that doesn't work at all. And then but I know this might sound crazy, but I've smelled the Plastic Daisies. No. And he sounds like he's going to literally start dying after Crazy. He's just going to fucking die at that point. Like, he's going to be gone. Like, he just sounds like he's gonna die, and then he just comes back to sing the rest of it, unfortunately. And then you get the crazy, like, scream metal vocal on the word hell when it goes from a clear acoustic and then just on hell out of nowhere. And that scared me the first time because I was like, I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Anyways,
what year is it? Yeah.
Yeah, what year is it? What am I doing? Who am I? So it was just strange. It doesn't fit. Some of the lyrics aren't awful, but really the Plastic Daisies, like, that's all you need to know. Like that line's
What does
bad
that even
enough.
mean?
I don't know.
I don't know what any of this means. It's not clear if it even has a meaning, which I don't think it does. But yeah,
I think it may have been under the
stop with the
influence.
scream thing. The instrumentals are fine, but they don't fit the song. There was some potential here, but I really don't know what the hell I just listened to twice.
Yeah.
Let's just say probably weren't sober while playing this.
Yes. Actually, let me speak to that real quick. So before Christoph gets into his thoughts, Nick, actually what they did, they literally admitted to being on LSD, cocaine, and other drugs while recording this album. I'm not
that
joking.
Explains so much.
No,
that explains so much.
I get it now.
There you go.
So yeah, this song, it's not good. Yeah, the vocals sound weak again. I think you can apply that to basically all the songs on here. So like,
understatement of the century.
Yeah, the lyrics are very strange to say the least. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Honestly, I don't really want to know either, to be honest. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense. The transitions again are awful. Like, what are they doing? Come on, please get actual transitions. Like, it's crazy. And I thought the riff was kind of good, but then I also like it's also repetitive, so it's really not that good. But it was like fine, I guess. And then just like changing from like basically acoustic to screaming and like crazy guitar riffs, that's just no. And then just like there at one point there was like some random like weird like synth sounds thrown in there. Like why? Why? I don't know. It's just weird. Not good.
All right, I have a bit of thoughts on this one. I'm pretty opinionated, especially when it comes to this song. So, first of all, the name. What the hell does that even mean?
I know what that's referring to. That I actually do understand. Yeah, and it's all about the plastic. Mattel is like a doll company that makes plastic dolls, and they make all this stuff. So it's something to do with the plastic that the company makes. I don't know why, but
Plastic Daisies. There you go.
Why are they talking about a plastic company anyway?
All right, anyways,
there's many questions here.
Anyways, first of all, the vocals sound like sounds like a chipmunk running through a desert. Like, dying. Like he's just dying. He's running through a desert, but he's also like on crack, and he also has like a bear trap on its nuts while he's running. But and then they give it auto tune. I feel like that's kind of what the vocals sound
True.
like on this song, but I digress. I actually don't mind like the transitions and the heavy riffs and the contrast because I like that. However, you can't just like put them like right next to each other. You need to like transition to that, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
you also need to have like somewhat coherent song structure, not just like
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what the hell the lyrics are saying. He sounds more whiny than like 90% pop punk bands somehow. I don't know how that's
That's
possible,
Facts.
impressive.
especially on a metal album. I don't say this lightly.
Mm,
I don't call this a metal album.
Okay, it's a metal band.
Yeah.
It's a metal band, but this doesn't even count as any genre. This album is so fucking weird. Like, what the fuck? I can't believe we're
I
actually
don't say
reviewing
this
this right
lightly.
now.
There are few
That's
albums
funny.
with worse vocals than this, at least in like the rock genre.
Yeah, I'd have
The
to
only
agree
one
there,
that comes to
actually.
mind is Nightmares of the Decomposed by 6 Feet Under. But no, that's bad in a different way. If you could say that. But yeah, this song is horrible. I hope to never hear it again.
Yeah, like most of these songs. So track number 3 here is the title is Nobody. So the hi-hats on this track are so fucking loud, and I don't even know why. Like, I really don't get the point of doing that. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's also a lot of awkward as hell electronic dubstep shit mixed in with this like nearly rapping part in the song that is just beyond sad. It's really beyond that point for me. The random instrumentals in this place just don't know their place in this tune at all. They really just don't. And they ruin it. They ruin it. They just ruin the song. And it ruins the chance of it even being solid or even good, really. The drumming seems to have been given like little production or mixing, and that truly could be said throughout most of this project, and not just for the drums, that is. Um, at least there's a somewhat to decent solo on here that saves the track from being like the worst on the album for me, but it's pretty much up there, just like the last track. It's not much worse or better. It's really about the same level. Fuck this song. All right, next.
All right, next. So yeah, Nobody. I don't dislike this one as much as the first two. Like the note when they're saying nobody, that's annoying. The intro is kind of cool. The vocals are really strained though, but to be fair, I don't think M Shadows has ever had that strong of vocals. Like
Nope.
that's never been his thing really. So whatever, it's just worse than it usually is. I do like the instrumentals here for the most part. Like they're decent. The guitar is pretty good. And then I'm reminded that I don't like this song when annoying layered stuff on top of the vocals comes in about halfway that reminds me that this isn't good. Overall, I don't hate the actual lyrics or singing itself. Like I can deal with it, whatever, it's okay. The instrumental outro is nice, but it's again, they can't get out of their own way. This is definitely improvement on the last two songs though.
yeah, this song, I did not like this one either. The guitar riff was kind of decent, but also again, I just felt like the riff was kind of repetitive, but like whatever. The lyrics, I don't really understand them, but there's worse on the album, so it's like fine, I guess. I do like the guitar playing or like the guitar solos kind of. Although like I did notice it was like a little bit buried in like the mixing at times, which was kind of weird. And then just like there's like some weird like vocal layering, and there was some parts like just vocals, and I don't know. It's just like it feels like they threw a bunch of ideas together, and nothing really stuck, and it's just like a mishmash, a bunch of random things, which also goes for the whole album. So yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh boy, where do I even start? I don't understand the lyrics either. I don't think this was as bad as the first two, but this is still not a good song at all. Like,
Agreed.
no.
Yep.
I do like the outro, like I do like the riff quite a bit, but unfortunately the production does not like you don't hear the riff as much as you do the vocals, which they could have had one good song, but they screwed it up somehow. This song, like the whole album, really just seems like they like their previous albums when they were writing stuff. They're like they had ideas, and the bad ideas they just threw it in the back burner. This feels like all the bad ideas they had combined makes into one, and
Pretty much.
no, doesn't work. There's worse. Like I would probably give the song a 4 out of 10 because like I don't hate it, but I don't like it. No.
Yeah, I agree with that. For sure.
The vocals are annoying as hell though.
Yeah, it applies for almost every single song on here, so not really shocking. So track number 4, which is titled "We Love You." So yeah, the vocals in this song are so weird, and also they're incredibly choppy, and they're kind of similar to just wait for it. You're gonna die of laughter. They're kind of similar to "Never Enough" by Kid Rock. If you've heard that song, yikes, yikes! It's so bad. The vocals are so choppy in that song and in this one. Like, yeah, it's really bad. If you've never heard of "Never Enough" by Kid Rock, please listen to this after because that song is absolutely shit, just like this one.
Don't
So yeah.
do that to yourself.
Okay, true. So anyway, speaking of crack, which we already got into earlier in the video, that would explain a lot of what this song is and how it even came to be an idea. So why did Avenged Sevenfold basically think this song or album was a good idea? Who knows? But at least with the previous cuts, you could understand the appeal. But here, I just don't feel like there's an appeal to be had. Like, it sounds like at times they told AI to write a song and just input a shitload of ideas here, and AI came up
Ooh,
with
the
this mess.
lyrics. The lyrics
Yeah.
The lyrics
That's
are special in a
Yeah,
bad
so-
way.
that's just kind of unfortunately the way I view this song. Then it just gets crazy energetic out of literally nowhere, and I'm just at a loss for words at this point. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just shit. The
We
lyrics
hear
here are
probably
so,
the best chorus of all time though.
yeah, the lyrics here are so bad. It's kind of funny. More sex, more pills, more skin. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. Like, please shut the fuck up. Respect. Actually, not even
Get off
respectfully.
the
Just shut the fuck
drugs.
up. Yeah, and also if you needed the cherry on top, here that would be once again a very weak vocal performance. So there you go.
Yep. All right, so this song is a hot, flaming, just piece of shit. Like this song is absolutely awful. I really enjoy
This is
the
the
intros.
song of all time.
Yeah, I really enjoy the intros on this, or I hate them. I hate this intro. I hate the lyrics. I hate the drum beat. I hate everything about this album. The weird more this, more that is annoying, terrible. It's just fucking awful. It sounds like it's trying to subliminally tell me to like do something awful, like join a cult or just like, like embedded in your brain of doing something like awful. Like it's trying to hypnotize you. It's so bad. Nothing about this song except maybe some of the guitar works. If you can't tell, I just hate the song. There's more transitions. The "Do Unto the Mud" part at the end may be the worst. The vocals, if I can even call them vocals, are atrocious. It's another decent instrumental outro, I guess, but this is multiple songs in one song that make no sense, and every single one of those songs suck.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, this song is just straight up bad. God, what were they thinking? Like, yeah, vocals, of course, they sound weak. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, the vocals just so bad. It's very lyrics so repetitive. This reminded me of like Rammstein for some reason. Obviously, it's much worse, and it's just like kind of that industrial metal sound is what I took from like the song and like some of that, which I'm not really a fan of in
Don't
the first
insult
place.
Rammstein like that.
Yeah, but like I'm not a fan of that in the first place, but this is like way, way, way worse, clearly. But like the lyrics on this are actually brain dead. Literally just like repeating words over and over in a monotone, annoying, like robotic voice. There's like the riff that's like industrial sounding and kind of annoying, just plays over and over. This whole song is just so many just annoying sounds and weird vocal mixing, and then it just like there's really slow and calm part, and then no warning goes right into crazy screaming and drumming. What are you doing? Stop. These transitions are just awful. And then it just goes back to some boring acoustics at the end because I don't know. Why not?
Because we're Avenged
Right, they make
Sevenfold
you
and we can do
thankful
whatever
for
the fuck we
acoustic.
want.
Yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
it's a nice break from like the more power, more.
Builds
Oh my
higher.
Don't
god,
even don't.
Builds.
it's so obnoxious.
It's
Seriously.
so bad. Who thought this was a good idea?
I
Like,
know. How did this
What
get
astonishes me
released?
the most, this is the same band that recorded City of Evil, Nightmare, self-titled. Even the stage, their 2016 album is a banger. This is like the complete opposite. This is the same band. How? I don't understand.
I don't know how you go this off the rails. I really don't. And this is just
Drugs.
the lowest of the
That's
low.
how.
Yeah,
Drugs.
Christoph basically just told you
So you're
everybody the
telling me
truth.
no one working on the album, the producer, record label executives, no one told, especially this song. They looked at the lyrics and they were just like, all right. No one objected to it, really?
Yeah. What were the singles for this album? Because I didn't hear the
The
singles.
worst
I just
part-
heard
Oh,
the hook
this
drum.
was a single. This was a
Oh
single.
my god.
Oh, you're
I
kidding
think
me. I was hoping it wasn't. This was a
Jeez.
I think
single?
that okay. I
That
think
was.
the biggest insult is this song is 6 minutes.
God.
This is
Ugh.
the second
Yeah.
longest song on the album, or third
This
longest
is
song
a
on the album.
single.
Why?
Yeah,
Why would you release it? Do you think this will ever get played on the radio? Seriously, no.
Yes.
this
No.
song is 6 minutes and 15
Oh.
seconds.
It's been
Why?
listened
Third
to
longest
4
song on the
million
album.
times on Spotify. I feel bad for
Who
every
is
single
listening
one
to
of those
this?
people's ears.
I mean, I know we all listen to it, but like, still, bro.
Yeah,
Everyone just must hear how bad it is and just go to listen to it. And that's
It's
why
like
it's so
the
No,
same
that
popular.
thing.
is the second most streamed song on the
Oh
album.
come on.
yeah.
Due unto the
I'm
mud. I
speechless.
still can't believe that was a line.
Just to prove my point on how bad this song is, allow me to do a poetic reading, spoken word poetic
Oh
reading
no.
of the chorus of this song. More power, more pace, more money. Okay, I can't. I can't read it seriously.
It's so bad.
This song makes no sense. It's a dumpster
It's
fire from start to
stupid.
finish.
It's so stupid.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Whew.
moving on.
Yeah,
True.
basically track number 5, just like with the first 2 songs, like track number 2 definitely fell off a cliff. Track number 5 definitely ascends from track 4 and track 3 for sure. So yeah, basically after those 4 lacklusters, and that's being extremely nice. Songs, the band puts us with a 10+ minute song. It's like, great, just what I wanted. Yeah, no. Why do we need 10 minutes of Avenged Sevenfold, especially with this? But looking on the bright side, in the first 2 minutes, at least it's not completely out of left field randomness and has some interesting guitar moments and solos. The biggest knock on it is the fact that it's, 7 minutes, and it's also following 4 songs that were really truly some of the worst on the album, and they're just pretty bad. However, at least this song features less cringe, less awful vocal tone, but mostly just because he doesn't sing as much on this piece here. It does feature some nicer melodic, slower moments around the halfway part here, which I guess is good. By far the best song on this album so far, and probably of the whole record. The only song I could actually say on the whole was generally good throughout the majority and did not self-sabotage. This song doesn't feel like an either copy and paste in terms of ideas or just being inputted into AI to come up with some random song, which is a great thing. Like, I'm glad that doesn't feel like that to me. Still, I would not come back to this song because it's on this album, but again, it's not bad. It's solid enough and could be considered a good or great song in the right frame of mind. And by that I mean on drugs.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, for Cosmic, really, I think I just think this song is as good as I do, which isn't great, but because I had to listen to all that before it, that literally anything that's a step up feels like air that I need to breathe. But I don't like the instrumentals for the song, but I like the lyrics and vocals itself, and it kicks into a cool guitar solo. The song is actually cohesive and nice to listen to, which should be the bare minimum, but you don't really get that at almost any other point in the song.
Accurate.
So, this meets bare minimum standards. Nothing special, but one they didn't really screw up. I could have done without the weird vocals at the end, though. Keep it simple, stupid. That's something they should have kept in mind the entire album, but they literally never did.
Yeah, I was originally thinking I wasn't gonna like this one because I was like, okay, why is it 7.5 minutes long? But it actually was not bad, and I actually thought it was kind of good, especially for this album. Like, um,
Yeah.
yeah, the start off, it wasn't like super great. It was a little boring, but it wasn't like bad. It wasn't crazy. I liked the drumming. I thought the guitar riff was good. There's some like interesting instrumental parts. There was only like slightly bad things. Like there was some like electronic synth part with like some kind of Daft Punk
Yep.
like vocals that was just like again like it's much it's much less in this song than everything else, which is good. But also, please, they can't even for like the one song that's like kind of good, they still got to throw in that random stuff. Like, come on.
I mean, I'd give them a lot more credit for this album if they would just at least come out of the closet and admit that they love Daft Punk already, but they still have not yet done that. So at least I
True.
don't think they have. So
No, that they worship
hopefully
Daft
they
Punk.
do.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. And I just think the song structure of this song was interesting. That's like my main takeaway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, overall, I actually like the song. It reminds me a lot of Dream Theater, except, more squeaky vocals somehow and worse vocals. But
And M
Yeah.
Shadows isn't exactly very good, so
I mean, James LeBrie isn't really known for being the best vocalist either, but he can, sing. But anyways, regardless, the song is actually pretty good, despite it being a bit longer. Despite it being the longest song on the album, listening to it feels like it's the shortest song on the album because I don't hate every second of it, unlike most of the other songs. So this is pretty much the only positive song, as in it's the only song giving above a 5 out of 10. I'd probably give this a
agreed.
5.5 or a 6 out of 10.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's not something you're gonna hear me say ever again for the rest
For
of the song.
sure.
So yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah,
However,
I pretty
good
much
things
agree.
don't last. Not all good things last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it pretty much keeps getting worse and worse up until track 7. Just gonna put that out there. And then it kind of goes all over the place. At least from what I'm looking at right here. Track 6 is worse, then track 7 is worse. Track 8, I don't even remember if I liked it less, but we'll get into that later.
Track
Fine.
11 is second best because it has no vocals.
True. I actually have to agree there. So anyway, track number 6, we're basically in the middle of the halfway point because there's 11 tracks. Track number 6. So Beautiful Morning is the title. So first thing I have to point out is, I mean, again, I've said this so many times, but the transitions on this track, they're super, super weak. They either like trip themselves up or are just boring as hell. The riff also has the potential to kick ass if it wasn't for the shitty production. Then again, production has never been an Avenged Sevenfold thing. More questionable lyrics are to follow, such as "You walk on water, but the water swallows you." What?
Swallows you.
Yeah, no. Also, it truly does not make any sense. But then again, it was reported they did a lot of fucking drugs and experimented with psychedelics. So I suppose I'll let it slide. Then they go into some Beatles-esque psychedelic part mid-song, which is to be noted, despite not really adding much, good or bad. The mix here is like very fuzzy, and the song could have been better if that was at least improved upon. The mixing on this song is shit. It then ends with a long piano outro, which is a snooze fest. It's not bad. It's just really boring and like made me fall asleep. So yeah.
Yeah, so Beautiful Morning. We have a lot of same thoughts on this. Really, the thing that stood out to me is there are some super brain dead lyrics that don't make sense. Like, you exhale, exhaling a scar. How are you exhaling a scar? Like, that doesn't
Yummy.
make sense. And you walk on the water, and then really grand and overly overwrought lyric that swallows you like it's some grand big thing but it's a stupid ass lyric. The vocals aren't actually awful here. They're just trying to sound very grand in something that doesn't need to sound grand. There's a couple nice moments to be had here. The instrumentals are nice, and parts of it overall has a nice vibe to it until the really annoying solo kicks in around 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Can you guys please just get out of your own way for a song is the question I'm left with. I don't think they can.
Not on this album.
No, it hurts because it feels like there's little bits of potential, and it's like how is this the choices that get made? Like, how did this even happen? I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I thought like overall the song, it's fine, I guess. Like some aspects of it's like the riff, drumming, they're decent. The riff, it's a little bit repetitive again, but it's fine. Yeah, I just want to say that guitar solo. Ooh, ouch! Like it's like really whiny
It's
sounding.
so bad. It's so
Like, why
bad.
does your guitar sound whiny? Why? You already do that in your vocals. You don't need to do that in the guitars too. Like,
Not
And
you
that's
everything
just
coming
has to
from
don't.
be like
pop
a
punk
whine.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
true. But like, I was literally like, I was playing this in my speaker as I was re-listening to this, and my mom heard it and she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Yeah, what is this?" Like, honestly, like
Yeah,
like
good
the
question,
song for
Mom.
the most part is just
you know
fine, but that
it's
solo, why?
that's how you know an album truly sucks is when your parents who know nothing
Yeah,
about the artist or album to have to comment and tell you how
I
bad it
know.
is.
It's
Like, why
like
are you playing this?
this just reminds me of like the like the I think it was called like Black Diamonds or whatever by LA Guns, like that I listened to earlier this year. That had like really bad production, like
Oh yeah,
whiny
that
guitar
song is
solos.
terrible.
So yeah, that's not a good thing to be reminded of. But you know,
Yeah, so I don't have too many like big complaints, but however, that does mean I have no praise for this song at all. Like it had vocals, it had drums, it had bass, it had guitar. That's about all I can say about this. I
Yeah.
don't remember much about it. Oh, and it had lyrics.
Yeah, I honestly
Yeah,
don't remember this one much,
That
but
is
I'm
my
glad
review
that
for
when
the
I
song.
did remember. I'm just glad when I did remember the songs, I wrote down a bunch of notes, but I honestly don't remember anything about it now. So I kind of am in the same boat with you, I feel like. So
yeah,
yeah.
It isn't
All right.
offensively bad, but it's not good. It's not very good either.
For
yeah. It's not
sure.
offensive. It wasn't offensive to my ears like the other ones. It was just it existed.
Pretty much. And then yeah, so track number 7 here,
oh boy.
Easier. This is also among my least favorites. So yeah, the intro of this tune shamelessly rips off Owl City, I feel like in the most hilarious way possible with the god-awful vocal manipulation.
I hate
So I
Owl
just
City.
same. And that doesn't help because they do it worse in Owl City.
True.
Also, why did they think sounding like Owl fucking City and then turning it up to volume 11 right after, then going back to Owl City sounds good? It doesn't. Like, what? Also, the most hilarious bad part of this song isn't even that. I mean, it's that part is really bad, but it may be M Shadow's embarrassingly bad vocal attempt at mocking, yes, Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver. It sounds like he's trying to imitate the voice he encompassed on the album Core from Stone Temple Pilots. So the drum sound and production on this cut is truly just god awful once again. Um, this song is trying so hard to be original, and it just seems like it rips off two singers and artists, mainly being Scott Weiland as a singer, and then just Owl City with the vocal manipulation and the weird like Fireflies esque like type vocals and shit. It's
Oh,
really out, and yeah, it's just really oddly stupid in the most stupid ways possible. The out of place instrumentals in the last minute or so of this song sound like something that a child would make on GarageBand and call it a great idea.
so I don't have any thoughts on this album, and none of them are good. No to the auto tune intro. No to the vocal style. No to just all the auto tune moments that are never good. This isn't like atrocious, like I Need to Die, but there's nothing special. There's nothing good in this. It's a forgettably bad song, and I'm ashamed it's in my Spotify history.
Yeah, so this song, it's just straight up weird. Yeah, the auto-tune vocals, personally, it's reminded me more of like Daft Punk again, but yeah, I also get like, sounds kind of like Fireflies. I like Owl City, but this is much, much worse than that, and I definitely understand those points. But anyways, yeah, bad transitions again, just like kind of randomly gets into like energetic drumming. And the guitar riff is decent. Vocals again, they're not good. Like obviously, and then yeah, the transitions, it just goes from like the Daft Punk vocals or Daft Punk Owl City whatever vocals to like screaming fast instrumentals. Why? And also I just noticed some of these vocals here, they sound like it's over like a phone call. It's like literally being recorded over the phone, like down in the studio. Like it's like they're like, hey, can you record this thing real quick? Oh yeah, I'll just sing it. And then they just like hold it up to like the phone, like stop, please. And then there's just like random annoying sounds thrown in the background. they're trying so hard to be creative. Yes, this is creative, but in the worst way possible. Stick to the basics. Please stop trying to outdo yourself and just throw everything together. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. The vocals do sound like that. I don't even know what else to say. You guys pretty much covered all of it. This is like the second worst song on the album. That's
Yep.
saying a hell of a lot.
Yeah, this
Like,
song sucks.
It may not be as bad as We Love You, but
It's very,
It's
very
Pretty
not.
damn
far.
close. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not even saying anything. You could like have a blend. You could like throw a bunch of shit in a blender, have that going, and then like record that and then distort it, and it would probably sound better than this song and We Love You. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
That
this song is
reminds
not very
me.
good. No.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Oh my
Every
god.
time I thought the song couldn't get any worse, I'm like, oh, there's no way it gets worse than this. You know what happens? It gets worse.
True.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
This happened several times.
it's happened several times. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like they look at their earlier albums, like they looked at like good metal albums or just good albums in general, and they thought, let's do the exact opposite of everything, and then this is the album.
Okay. So yeah, it's track 8 titled G. This song isn't as all over the place as some of the other tunes, but I would still consider it to be a mess in and of itself, just for the once again half-baked productions and ideas that admittedly would be cool, but in another song, just really not here. That's really part of what makes this record as bad as it is. It's not that there's no cool ideas here. It really is just for the fact that these ideas are being misused. For example, on this track, having like a female vocalist as a feature on this track is a solid idea. However, whoever was singing on this track was just being misused or misplaced here. They weren't singing terribly, but like it just wasn't the right type of track for them to be singing on. And also the song's boring title is representative of how uninteresting I felt this track was. Just like, seriously, why are you naming a song after Andrew Tate? Like, bruh.
I suppose it is a good. Although if they were doing a song after Andrew Tate, they should probably have made it "We Love You" because that song is horrible, just like Andrew Tate. I feel like that'd be a more appropriate
For sure.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so yeah, with this one, lame title, like G. Ooh, you guys put so much work into that. They need to actually put some work into their transitions and their other things and their titles, apparently. Like they didn't even put any work in on that. It's lame title, it's an odd instrumental intro choice. There's weird vocals again with no real rhythm. The female vocals are kind of nice, but they really just kind of come out of nowhere. And when the vocals become a duet, I just want to rip my ears out because it just becomes a bunch of annoying sound. It doesn't flow well together. It's just, we're going to slam this all together in like discordant crap. It's so bad. I think this song is supposed to be about God creating the world. It's kind of a cool premise. And some of the lyrics are kind of cool. And it's something I would have loved to have seen done well. But overall, it's just meh. And the duet parts, which I usually love, are just terrible.
Yeah, that sums it up
The
pretty
ones
well.
their lyrics kind of get funny at the end, but I'll try again. It is kind of funny, but there's no real ending to it either. It just abruptly ends and we're on the next song. Forgettable again, not very good. It exists, and this would be an awful song to me, but there's just so much more awful on this album that it kind of just falls in the middle.
Yep,
True.
pretty much.
Yeah, I just find it so funny. Imagine naming a song just G. Like you're like, oh, what's a good song? What really represents this song really well? Like people will remember. It's like catchy. G. Yeah, just pick a random letter. Just like go through the alphabet.
The capital G for God.
Yeah,
but still.
but like
stupid.
Like the
It could
following
also be
two,
G for G. This sucks, but
like for the following two
True.
tracks, they do like O and then a word, and then D and then like the word. Like you didn't even come up with something for like to use for G. Like I guess you're trying to do like in a row to spell
it's an
God or whatever.
artistic statement, man.
They're trying
Like-
to be edgy, essentially.
Like you're trying to mix it up and make it creative, but again, stop trying to be so creative. That's too much. Yeah, but this song,
normally you should only get creative once you have like the basics down.
true. But yeah, like
They don't have the basics down, so
this
it just
song,
sounds bad.
it's just weird. The vocals, they sound kind of buried at times. Just like the mixing's not good. The riff and the drumming, it's fine. It's kind of repetitive. The lyrics, they're kind of interesting, but also kind of stupid. I don't really know what they mean. And last thing, it's a very specific like reference, but this like the intro part sounds like really really similar to Angry Birds Space music for some reason.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
I heard that, I'm
That
like,
is
yes.
actually
wait,
kind of true. Wow.
I've heard
Oh,
this
actually, you're
before.
kind of right. Yeah, you're right.
Like I just like,
Oddly.
and then it's like I unlock like a random memory. I'm like, wait a minute, like this sounds just like that. I don't know why. It's really random, but yeah.
This song is terrible. Lyrics aren't that bad, surprisingly, considering the name of the song is just the letter G. But like, what really pissed me off about this song is they kind of had potential with it. Like
I
the guest
know.
vocalist was
True.
pretty good. Normally, I actually quite like duets, and the guest vocalist was pretty good. But no.
Yeah, and then you just have M Shadows. Ah! Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sucks because I would have liked to seen this song done well.
Yep.
Yeah, like it had real potential, but no, they didn't. No, they ruined it.
All right. So track number 9 is titled open parenthesis O close parenthesis rdinary. Basically ordinary, but they had to be edgy, of course. So yeah, here's the Daft Punk ripoff song. This is the song where they mostly rip off Daft Punk. I mean, there's obviously other songs, but this is the main one. Yes, it's once again a mess. It does feature light electric guitar riff, but the vocal manipulation happening in this track just sounds really terrible. And at least when Daft Punk does it, it's more original sounding and doesn't hurt your eardrums the entire time. The autotune in this track is unbelievable, and I say that because this is an album that's been so dry on production and mixing this whole time, but then the group comes out of nowhere for this overproduced track, whereas the rest of the album is actually very underproduced. A song that's bad in all regards and not worth coming back to. It's definitely more than a skip. So there's that.
Yeah. So fun intro, bad auto-tuning vocal style. Sound familiar? It's here again, and spoiler alert, it still sucks. This works
Is that a
slightly
Limp
better
Bizkit
than
reference?
than some of the other ones. But reliance on auto-tune shouldn't belong on these albums. Like, it's an over-reliance and it's bad. It's short and there's not much substance to it. The weird thing is, and like kind of Christoph saying, I've got some specific things it reminds me of. It's like a fun, almost 80s show sounding instrumentals, like some of the fun little intros that you see in 80s TV shows. It sounds like, I don't know, you guys don't probably know this, but there's a show called Chips, and that's what this sounds like. But it's
Oh
like,
yeah, like the cop show, like
yeah, the cop show. It sounds like that intro, but it's a bad modern 80s mashup with a terrible loud outro that makes zero sense with this song. Like, honestly,
that's a good way of putting it. Wow.
I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, and if this was a record, I'd have broken it already. Like, this is so
yeah,
bad.
I would.
Yeah, this song again, it's not good. It's weird. This is like they're ripping off Daft Punk yet again. Have you had enough
Yep.
Daft Punk? Like, come on, at least like several songs where you've basically been ripping off Daft Punk.
No,
Why?
Daft Punk's their daddy.
But like,
kind of.
they're a metal band, right? Why are you ripping off
Yeah.
specifically Daft Punk the most? Where do you get that idea? Seriously,
Ugh.
like the
Because
auto-tune,
Daft
weird
Punk
like
sold out, we
synthesized
stand.
vocals, like. It makes no sense. Like I guess on this album it kind of fits in a way because like the whole album is all over the place. But like just from this perspective, like as like a hard rock or metal band, whatever you want to call them, this is like a funky synth pop song, which like okay, it's decent at that. But like in the context of the album and the band, why? It doesn't work at all.
It does not. Yeah, no.
I don't even know where to begin. Is this the same band that the first time I heard this song, I'm like, wait, is this Avenged Sevenfold? Am I listening?
Or is this
Sound like
And then I read
Daft
the name.
Punk?
Oh, this is Avenged Sevenfold. Oh.
Ugh.
For the record, I actually do like Daft Punk. this is just the reason I don't like the song is because how insulting it is to Daft Punk
True.
and
Yeah,
to
no,
its
I have nothing
audience.
against Daft Punk, but like I hate it when other artists try to mock them because it usually sounds like shit.
But the even bigger insult is how they insulted their fans with this song. Like, the vocals are probably, I don't say this lightly, these are probably my least favorite vocals on the album.
Wow.
Like, the rest of the song is fine. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite song on the album because it's only 3 minutes. But it's not a good song. It's really not good. The title, like, I get they were trying to do, like, the edgy thing or whatever, but, like, that is cringe, and it's especially even more cringe when you're, like, old like them and, like, more mature. But, yeah, no, this is not a pleasant song.
Yeah, it's probably my second like worst vocals on a song. I could definitely understand it being first though, of course, but my first place obviously has to go to Now I Know This Might Sound Crazy.
No, I don't need to hear that ever again.
M Shadows, like I say this with all due respect, there are so many people at my school that sing better than you. I'm not joking, and I'm not saying that for the entertainment value. Like literally, there are people in my choir that sing better than M Shadows. I'm not joking. I swear I'm not. I swear. Like he's not a good vocalist at all. All right. Track number 10, open parenthesis D, close parenthesis F. Basically just called Death, but again, them trying to be edgy. Yeah, this essentially, the best way to describe this song in one sentence, if I had to choose, would be edgy Frank Sinatra ripoff. So yeah, I just want to know why M Shadows is trying to be Frank Sinatra now. Literally, I kid you not, the vocals sound like, wait, what is the first lyric? I don't even remember. Like this song is so bad. Like it's like in my dreams or something like that, and it's just so weird. And it's like, why are you trying to be like a crooner type vocalist? I don't understand that. Kind of like jazz slash crooner type vocals, and it's really weird. Also, it's trying to imitate other artists on this record has not worked in any capacity so far, not even a little. So what's to make him think it'll magically work now? His vocal performance has been well below average and at times insufferable. There's guitar work that comes in a bit later, but even that is just really quite awkward and doesn't save this from being a good song. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, you thought wrong. The band comes in with these Star Wars soundtrack like instrumentals around the 2 minutes and 30 seconds mark for literally no reason, possibly to add fear or suspension of some sort, but even that doesn't work to do anything. All in all, it's just another song that tries to be creative and ends up backfiring as it's just using what Sinatra did and just basically nearly copying that and then adding in randomly selected instrumentals. So I don't even know.
Can I add something to what you said though? The thing you said about the thing trying to add fear is not working, I disagree. I think it did the opposite. I think it does make you scared that the album is gonna last.
Oh yeah, true, because it's so bad.
It makes you scared that, oh no, there's still more left to this album. And in that sense, I do feel like it does create fear and suspense. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, because simply for the fact that this song didn't hurt my ears, like I didn't mind it so much. I agree. It's what just they did, but like this is probably one of the better ones just because it's actually fine to hear. They don't have as many awful transitions. Like they don't screw up as much. They still screw up, but it's not quite as bad. But it's funny, and I'll get to it at the end, kind of. But you talked about Star Wars. I brought up something completely different that it sounded like, but it does sound Star Warsy too. But the parentheses don't make any sense. I don't understand the parentheses. I don't understand why they did that with these two songs.
Oh, probably because there's G and then there's O and there's D. I don't know. Just
God. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Could be.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that either.
Oh, I did.
Wow, that's
what does it even signify though? Like
God.
I know that,
no,
but like
G does kind of talk about like.
I know, but like
Earth
it just
created and all that.
Like I guess they're trying to make a theme, but it doesn't make much sense.
It doesn't. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. The song doesn't make any sense as a choice. It's just, it sounds like very Sinatra-y. It doesn't make sense. if you look back on the beginning tracks, this is nothing like any of them, and it's like, how is this on the same album? Well, thank God. Yeah, to be fair, thank God. If that's what they're trying to say, maybe, I don't know. There's just not much to this. Where's the theme to this album? There isn't one. This song doesn't sound like actually awful. Like, I don't mind this song. If it came on, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I already forgot it as soon as it came on, but like, it was okay. But yeah, basically, I just question its existence, like why it exists. It's not bad, just why. The outro at the end sounds like part of a Batman / Gotham outro. Like, it just sounds like something they'd have in like Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Like the dun 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 dun, like that.
Right,
like
or the fight scenes, or introducing Gotham. I'm just like, okay, I'm in Gotham City now, and like the Joker and Poison Ivy or whatever are gonna appear. So,
this could be a soundtrack to the Joker because it makes him go crazy.
And
Yeah,
it's also
exactly.
a joke that they're trying, and it's a joke they're trying to imitate Sinatra too. Remind you.
Failing to imitate Sinatra.
Basically, what isn't in this album? Like, literally, what's not in here? Like,
Good music.
Sinatra, check. Auto-tune, check.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But like, what do they not try and throw in here? It's kind of insane.
Coherent songwriting. That's what.
Yeah, and the fact that it's called Death when it's like this sweet Sinatra-y song.
Yeah,
is also
I
a
thought the
strange
same
choice.
thing. So
I literally
funny.
thought this was gonna be a death metal type song because, like, what have they not
I
done on
wish
this
it would
album?
have.
True. Like that would
Actually,
fit better.
no, I don't want to hear Avenged Sevenfold trying to do death. No, actually, no.
I still would say I hated this song, not because of the sound, but because here's the thing. Let's look at the facts of this. Frank Sinatra is clearly one of the best vocalists, but M Shadows,
undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But M Shadows is not among the worst I've heard. But on this album, this is some of the worst vocals on a recorded studio album that I think I've ever heard. Honestly, like, it's really terrible.
Have you
it's
heard
just
Tones
bad.
and I, though?
I know. That's why I said. But Tones and I is consistently bad. M Shadows has had some good vocal performances in his career. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this song, it's fine as like its song itself. It's really like kind of chill and laid back. A nice breath of fresh air from like all this crap before. It's clearly ripping off Frank Sinatra, which like why of like you're I don't know why, but like so this would sound good if it was sung by Frank Sinatra. Obviously, like it's Frank Sinatra
much
style.
better.
Frank Sinatra would sound good.
Yeah,
Let's
like
be real.
this makes sense at sung by Frank Sinatra, but not Avenged Sevenfold. No, just don't. Like, yeah, and plus like some random like sounds thrown in, just trying to be too creative. And as Mariah said, it's so funny. Like for Frank Sinatra like ripoff song, it's called Death. That does not match. And just the fact the album started out with like System of a Down like ripoffs, like screaming and stuff, and then it like towards the end, it's just like Frank Sinatra chill and laid back. How do you go from that? That's what? I don't know.
They ran out of breath.
True.
Yeah, I would like to know, but I don't.
Crazy.
Because the start of the album when they were recording, they were on the high, and then it's like they're hungover.
Accurate.
Yeah.
No, basically,
this is a drug.
Basically,
going.
The way I view this song is essentially just like in Madrid, and then they just die. They just die. They fall off a cliff.
No, like there's this my favorite movie, Tommy Boy. He just like he says something and then he just like slams into a table and falls into a table and breaks the table. I just imagine like in my dreams, and then goes down and just smashes the wood table. That's what that would
pretty
happen.
much.
It's just, Chris Farley is more
and then
entertaining
goes to rehab.
than this.
True.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The difference is.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album, but again, not saying that much. Because, like, okay, at least if you're ripping off someone, at least rip off someone good. In this case, they did. So I'm not really complaining. The vocals are not great, but they were better than everything else on the album for the vocals. So I guess I'm not complaining too much on that. Also, why is it called Death?
I know, no idea.
In case you can't tell from, like, you can't see it. I am wearing a Death shirt, like the band, but yeah, with a name like Death, you probably shouldn't have like like with
Elegant
the name Death, I would not expect a
instrumentals.
beautiful song.
True.
I mean, I'm not complaining. It's much better than all the other songs on the album, but
For sure.
yeah. Also, that is a very non-creative name for a song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's not as bad as most the rest on the album because it's ripping off something that's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And now moving on to the best, to probably my second favorite song on the album.
So yeah, track number
Agreed.
11, the final track. It's also the title track. So yeah, Life is But a Dream. More like Life is But a Nightmare, which is basically this album. So yeah, it's a song that truly shows they're more than just a metal band, for better or worse, mostly for worse. It's extremely dependent on the piano being great, which it's really just not. It's a sad thing to say, but it has to be said. The rare and few times at least that they try to incorporate piano into their music, it just really doesn't have any sort of effect, at least
Okay,
for
they did in
me.
their earlier albums. They definitely used piano in their earlier albums, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't really have any effect for me. It's just present. You can't really love or hate it because it's not that great, but it's not terrible, I guess. It's
It's not
kind of just,
insulting.
yeah, it's kind of just very mediocre in the track all in all, which is actually nice, I suppose, on an album with mostly bad tracks, the rest Matt, and one that was good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, closing this out, Life is But a Dream. We're closing it out with the title track, which strange choice for a closer, strange choice for a title track, to be honest. Like
For
it,
sure.
it was just strange. But it's a nice, fun, jaunty little instrumental that sounds like it's pulled straight from the show Westworld. Like if you have ever heard the Westworld intro, which is very cool, by the way. That's what this sounds exactly like. Like I'm like, all right, this could have fit in the show. So kind of a ripoff, which do we not have on a ripoff? I guess it's too much to ask.
When are they not ripping people off in this album is a good question.
Yeah, and there's so many we probably haven't even picked up on because these are just the basic ones that we're picking up on. It's pleasant and nice for what it is. I just don't revisit instrumental tracks much, but as far as they go, this is like nothing crazy, but it's nice. Which, in terms of this album and its quality and the jerkiness of it, I'll accept it. I'll deal with it. It's not killing me, and that's kind of an accomplishment. So,
For sure.
kind of what I gotta say on that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like to think that like the previous song they just like passed out, like they're all passed out, and this one like they just need one more song to finish the album. They're like, quick, scram together, hire some piano player, just do some instrumental track, just put one more track on there.
Literally,
Yeah,
the way
watch
that I
Westworld.
saw this song is basically they were the ones playing piano and singing on the prior track, but they all got drunk and passed
Yeah,
out, and
for
some random
sure.
person just comes up and plays piano
They just
and
needed
just
another
looks
track to
around.
finish it.
Yeah, no, and then
Yeah.
some random person comes up, starts playing piano, and just looks around and sees them all passed out because of all their drugs and their drinks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like this reminded me of like classical music, which like I don't love or hate classical music. It's just fine. I just think it's kind of just like the average like classical sound. It's a little bit boring, but like it's not insulting or anything. It's fine. Like it's just an odd choice, really, especially again for being like basically a metal band. Why are you having like a piano classical like song on an album? And it doesn't really make so much sense as an album closer either. It's just very average. It just doesn't fit in general.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I don't really see like how it's much like classical music at all. I actually quite enjoy classical music when I'm working. But yeah, overall it's probably my second favorite song on the album because no vocals in this case. That
Oh
makes
yeah,
it
I
better.
love when I don't
True.
have to hear M Shadow sing on a song and ruin it.
But wasn't great. Not bad. It's not a bad song. It's just average, which means it's the second best song on the album.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
basically
that's
it.
pretty much all I have to say about it.
Yeah, it's definitely the song that has the least to
Unacceptable.
say, which is kind of actually a good thing.
In this
really.
case, good.
Yeah.
Usually no.
All right. This is my favorite part, I think. Album recap. So we'll get in here into the best tracks, the worst tracks, overall thoughts, and final rating out of 10. Also, we'll go in the same order for track listing, and every each of us will give our overall thoughts, best tracks, worst tracks, and final rating, and then move on to the next person. So we're just kind of doing all of it in one, not like best tracks go, then worst track. It's just like all in one.
Good.
So yeah. Yeah, all right. Let's get into these overall thoughts for me. So basically what I wrote down is Avenged Sevenfold returns with a long-awaited album after 7 years and truly just disappoints fans and critics alike. Life is But a Dream is a confused, disjointed project that doesn't center on any one theme or sound, making it extremely difficult to enjoy for most listeners. The album also features some of their most grating vocals as well as half-baked production. While the album had a track or two that was decent enough to not be upset with, and while it did have potential, ultimately in the end, Avenged Sevenfold just does not live up to the anticipation that was built surrounding this album. Oh, and best tracks and worst tracks. I forgot. Best tracks. Obviously, Cosmic is the one that I would have to say. I didn't write down more than one because this album sucked too fucking much. Worst tracks, not in any order. I just kind of wrote them down as they appeared chronologically for the most part. So here, Mattel was the first one I wrote down.
It's
Second
Mattel,
track,
but yeah.
whatever. Mattel. Basically, fuck that song. Next, Nobody, fuck that song. We Love You, fuck that song. Easier, fuck that song. Ordinary, fuck that song. Death, fuck that song. And Beautiful Morning, fuck that song. All right. And final rating, 2.5 out of 10. Fuck this album.
Fair enough. Okay, so
Can't argue with that.
yeah, no thoughts here. So I literally had the exact same thing to say about that they disappointed fans and critics and long-awaited album, but I'll skip all that because we already heard it from you. So basically, M Shadow sounded like he was dying, but for most of this album, I think I'd rather have died instead. There's nothing even like slightly resembling a dream here. Life became a nightmare for the better part of an hour, especially the first part of this album. I actually was, when I was doing this, I was giving my thoughts as I was going through to Cyrus, and I'm like, hey, can I stop listening to this? Like, Mattel's going like, do I have to listen to the rest of this? Like, can I stop?
Yeah, I should
I
have
already
objected
want to be
also.
done.
No, why would you want to be done? Don't you love him singing Now I Know, like in your ears for...
No, I don't actually.
Crazy. Yeah. There were some good moments, I have to admit, but it's far too easy to forget them, honestly, because the lows on this album are that low, and the rest often fools you into it being okay because it's not actively making you cringe and wither away. Acoustic moments are fine, and a lot of the guitars, some of the songs are fine or have some fine moments, but there's really nothing great at any point, and there's a lot that is just fucking awful. Like, it's just mind-boggling that exists, and that this is a 7 years since the last album. It's not like they just put out something 6 months ago. It's literally a nightmare where anything goes, and there's no such thing as a bad idea or 50 of them. It's diverse, which isn't bad, but it is on this album. I could continue on the weaknesses, but we'd be here all night. This was honestly just a mess with a few good moments and a whole host of bad ones. There's worse albums and songs out there, and there's worse albums and songs from this year. But for the most part, this is good, and I wish I had more nice things to say. I came into this album wanting more nice things to say, but there's just too much bad ideas, and stomped on and burned in flames potential. And even if I don't mind some of this, saying I've heard worse, but like that doesn't mean it's a good album. It just means that it's not like
you've heard worse.
Yeah,
it means
exactly.
it means it sucks, but there's things that suck harder.
Right, yeah, basically, like, yeah, this is bad, but have you heard the Little Pump album? Like,
it's horrible, so bad.
Yeah, exactly. So favorites on this is Life is But a Dream, which should say something because I don't even like instrumental tracks, and I'm putting this as one of the best ones. Death, which I had my problems with, but it's still in one of the best tracks because it wasn't bad to listen to and it was fine. And if it came on, I wouldn't be opposed. I'd just listen to it and forget it. I heard it. And then Cosmic. Cosmic was for the most part pretty good, but there isn't a single song I don't have some kind of issue here. And I don't even see myself as that like judgmental or critical of a music listener. Like if I like it, I like it and I don't think much on it. But there's literally nothing I didn't have an issue with, and I was looking for something to like.
Oh yeah, same. It just sucks.
Right. Least favorites. Everyone knows what my least favorite is. We Love You.
Fuck that
Fucking
song.
sucks. I fucking hate
We
you
do
and
not love
everything
that
about
song.
this. Game
It's
over.
fair to say we don't love that song very much.
No, it's making me hate Avenged Sevenfold. Oh, and by the way, I know a bunch of Avenged Sevenfold songs, but this is actually the first full Avenged Sevenfold album that I've sat down and listened to.
Oh, that's a horrible impression.
I know. Well,
okay,
I know a bunch
listen
of
to
their
City
songs.
of Evil. It sounds a lot different from this. I promise.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of their songs. Like I've got probably 25 Avenged Sevenfold songs on there. Just I've never like sat down and listened to a full album and like in order. I just haven't made it to them yet. But yeah, We Love You, Game Over, Mattel, Easier. Pretty much the rest of them are pretty bad, but We Love You is just the clear worst song on there. It's so
For
awful.
sure.
Like,
Yep. Such a great single ready song, ready for that awesome radio play that, will make you skip the station entirely.
pretty much. So for my ratings, I want to give it lower, but again, I know there's worse. I said a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 10. That feels generous, but that's just kind of where the ranking is at. Like 2.5 or a 3 out of 10. It's not the worst thing.
I gave it a 2.5, so yeah.
Yeah, I might give it slightly better than that because there were some good moments, but it's right in that range. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a 1 out of 10 at all, but
1 out of 10 I almost never give, so yeah, I'd agree with you there.
1 out of 10 is irredeemable, and there are some redeemable parts, and I honestly could see this being spun into a good album with like half of it removed and changed.
Yeah, and by half of it removed, I mean Fire M Shadows, please, for heaven's sake.
Okay,
Jesus.
I think if this got remastered, it could be decent.
Yeah, and if M Shadows wasn't part of the band anymore, no offense, but his vocals sound like shit.
Yeah, but also you said the whole vocal surgery. So if you gave it a couple of years, and maybe he did that, or if he had, or maybe it would be. But what we have now, it isn't. And the sad thing is, this is after 7 years. After 7 years, people are so excited, and like this wasn't good. I mean, granted, there's sometimes where people have been disappointed because it's not what they wanted after this, but this is just bad. It's not disappointed because you wanted, another Appetite for Destruction and got Chinese Democracy. This is awful, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I feel the best way to put it, there's a lot of potential. It has some good ideas, mostly bad ideas, but it has ideas that, like, when done in the right way, could make something good. But the thing is, they took like a list of like 50 something ideas. They're like, let's get really creative on this one. Threw it all together. They just didn't bother making anything like mesh together well. Just threw a bunch of random ideas and just like, it's fine. We'll just do it. And they tried way too hard to be creative, and that just ended up making it just so bad. Like I've said so many times, like to truly be the best of the best bands, yes, you have to be really creative, but like but it's also fine to just be like mediocre or just good and like not being that creative, and it's just like doing what's
like
good.
AC/DC.
Yeah, AC/DC, they've never done anything super creative or super great, but they're consistently like decent or good for the most part. And then there's bands or there's albums like this. They try so hard, like HAR. They throw so many things together. They try to be as unique and like quirky or whatever. I don't know, edgy, something like that. And it's just like it does not work. Stick to the basics sometimes. Like yeah, there's some good ideas in this album, but there's just so much things like the transitions are just straight up awful. Like usually, if you don't notice the transitions, that's probably a good thing because like they're good and it eases you into like when a song changes. That's how it should be, not in like 0.5 seconds going from acoustic to screaming. That's not good. And just the fact that you can like go over so many like artists that seemingly rips off. It's like almost like an Easter egg hunt. It's like, oh, which other artist can I find
I
that they
know.
ripped off?
It was so fun to like put these in my notes and stuff
I
because I was
know.
trying to figure out who they're ripping off next.
Like, and
Right.
it's just so many just like random bands and artists, and just like the most like random things that like you might think of. Like I thought if like video game music, like Angry Birds, like obviously I'm sure they didn't directly rip that off, but it's just like
Yeah,
why.
Gotham,
I
Batman,
know, like
Chips.
just the fact that like these
Star
random
Wars.
things sound the same, even though they probably didn't try to rip those off directly. It's just so funny. Just why? And then there's just like the vocals and mixing just pretty bad all over the place. Album cover just it's lame.
Oh, the
I don't
album cover's
know.
awful.
It's just
It's
really
a
lame.
For
it's a
Just
sure.
stupid
child.
drawing. Like, come on.
And then it's this
Yeah.
drawing that got scribbled through. Like they tried to like get rid of it because
Yeah,
it was so bad,
I
but then
know.
they just submitted it anyway.
That feels like this album basically. They're like, it's pretty bad, but like, we don't really want to put more work on this. So like, we'll put it out. It's whatever.
We'll put it. That's basically what it is. Like you see the album
Yeah.
cover. What you think of the album cover is exactly what you should expect from the album.
True.
Except you should expect worse from the
Yeah.
album, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. But honestly, this review was just fun to write and like
True.
talk about and all that. Like, so at least there's that. At least we got
Yeah.
some fun out of the album.
Yeah. So, anyways, tracks, favorites. Yeah, Cosmic. It's not great. It's fine. It's good. It had interesting song structure. Yeah.
No, it had no. Let me correct you there. It had a song structure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Most of them didn't. So, like, honestly, that's about it for favorites. Like, other ones that were like decent, and that was like at best. And then at least favorites. We love you. So this basically feels like if it, for it was if it was from another band, it's like in a very obscure song that was buried and like not found till like decades later because no one ever released it because it was so bad. It should have
Except
stayed
for the
that way.
fact they released it
was
as a
released as
single,
a
so it
single.
can't be that obscure.
Like this
Oh my
song,
gosh, I can't believe that still.
it's like so
They
I
willingly made this a single.
so I'll just assume say like I don't know they wrote the lyrics first. Someone should have seen this and said, okay, this is awful. Burn it. Just forget about it. Get rid of it. Just stop. Stop right there. Writing the lyrics, whatever. Just do not continue. And releasing as a single is like the complete
not
opposite of what you
resuscitate.
should do. Why? And then just like nobody easier, just bad. There's so many just really awful things about these songs. Like it's so questionable how this released and like nobody like I don't know, nobody from like the record companies or bands listened to this and it's like, this doesn't sound all that great or coherent, but let's release it anyway.
No, I know one
Yeah.
person who loved this album, and that's it.
Oh, I know a lot more people online. I'm somehow, but
No, like I'm
Almost-
talking about an IRL friend of mine.
Wow.
yeah, no. The thing is like it's weird because fans are definitely split, but almost everyone I've seen that considers themselves a music reviewer or critic or anyone that like basically gives their opinion on albums on YouTube has given this a very negative review. So it's a weird disconnect.
mess.
It's
a mess.
It's such a weird disconnect. It's like AJR. The fans love it, the critics hate it. It's a weird disconnect.
I would even
this
say
album
I
is
would
like
say the
most
fans
people
are
think
split
it.
on this too, though. It's not like something where all the fans love it. It's not like a
Yeah.
movie where like the audience loved it and the critics hated it.
True. Yeah. Yeah, and then for score, I originally gave this a 4 to 10, dropped to a 3 to 10. It's just like
Of course.
it's just straight up bad. Like it
Fair
could
enough ranking.
yeah, it's just the only reason it's not lower is because like there's potential, there's some good ideas. It's just executed horribly. Like executed
Pretty
so
much.
bad. It's just like this could if this they could make this and make a decent album out of this. That's just why it's not lower. And plus there's
Yep.
always
Yeah.
worse. I listened to Lil Pump 2 this year, so yeah.
How did you even do that?
No, 3 out of 10 sounds
I
about
don't
right.
know. Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yeah, like I gave it a 2.5. Like it's definitely not below
Yeah.
a 2 for me, but it's like pretty bad.
For
Yeah,
sure.
pretty bad.
Like a 3 out of 10. I don't 2 or a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 is like the most generous I can give it because I do like Cosmic.
Giving it above a 3 out of 10 is like praise to
No, that
me.
no way I'm giving it above a 3 out of 10. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit generous, so I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Realistically, it might be a 2.5.
Yeah. What would you see for best and
But-
worst?
Best Cosmic, the title track. Death is a bit. It's good. It's not as bad as everything else, but I wouldn't say it's the best. And
Yeah.
then the worst is
Same 3.
the worst is the fucking "We Love You" song.
It's so
True.
bad.
Yep.
If you really loved us, Avenged Sevenfold, you would not release that song
Or the album.
Good point.
or the album, but especially that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the songs are all also tied for second worst, by the way. But that song is the worst by far.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed. That one was definitely the one where I knew this album was gonna be bad. Like I was 3 songs and I was like, okay, I do not like any of this, but I still have some hope. And then song 4 came on and I was like, what the
Yeah.
fucking hell?
And you're like, and we're done. And
No, I literally went and then I went upstairs to go eat a snack because I was like, I can't sit through this any longer. This is absolutely torture to my ears.
I was struggling. You remember me telling you,
Yeah.
can I not? Like, you're like, you
I'm
have
like-
to for the review.
I was like, if you want to
I would've
review it, you have
objected.
to
I would've
know
just
it.
I
would've
heard this
opted out of the
twice.
review probably, but I was too deep.
You
to,
think
like,
that's
stop.
bad? I heard it 3 times.
Oh god, I listened to it
Uh,
twice, and it was already bad.
Twice was good enough. I remember it well enough because it was bad.
Yeah.
Like I
don't
had
really
one of them
remember
stuck
it,
in my
though.
head today, and I'm like,
Oh,
no, God,
sucks.
please, no.
That's torture.
So
This is
weird.
like the Avenged Sevenfold's My World.
But the
pretty
whole
much.
album, yeah.
Probably
But the
worse.
album-
Actually,
Yeah,
what do you think
except
it-
Guns
it's
N'
the
Roses
same
has
one.
an excuse
My World
of
or We
like
Love You?
one person
This
of
is a genuine
mushrooms.
question.
Yeah.
I'd rather My World or that. I'd honestly rather listen to My World because like We Love
It's
You.
shorter.
Actually,
Yeah, it's
easily.
shorter and-
Easily.
That's true. That's true.
And oh my gosh, We Love You. I wanted to
I
just
can't believe
rip
I'm
my ears
defending
out.
My World. I
You
can't
know it's
believe
I
bad
know.
when
I'm
you're defending My World.
Yeah, when My World would never have been released as a single in a million years, and this was.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. In what world?
This world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What
This
a
world,
what a
unfortunately.
society we
Yes.
live in.
My world. Aha.
Yeah, it's 2023. What a year to live in. And we've got
Yep.
We Love You, which is such an innocuous title for such an awful song.
I know, it's almost
Yeah.
like it's ironic.
You'd think the bad song would be titled Death, even though that was one of
I
the better
know.
songs.
Just
Right. It's just weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, they ended with a peaceful song and the energetic songs at the start.
How
Mhm.
badass of them, yeah, to do that. Such a metal way to go out.
No, but
Um,
it's like the opposite of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's about it.
that's pretty
Did you
much
give
it.
your rating, Nick?
Yeah, I gave it a 3.
Okay,
we
yeah,
all-
so
we
we
all
all
gave
have
it
right
a
about the same rating.
2 to
We
3.
literally
It's
all
either
gave it a 2
2.5
and
or a 3 for me.
Yeah.
yeah, me and Mariah basically gave it a 2.5, and you guys gave it a 3. So we basically
Yeah.
all agree. I think like it's a pretty
Yeah,
bad
I
album.
would- I could put it at a
2.5
3.
because I've heard worse, so I don't want to give it a 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I will say I'm pretty sure I'm 90% sure this will make it on my worst albums of the year list. Not obviously number 1, 2, 3, or 4 or
Oh,
5,
will
but
definitely
it'll be in my top 10 worst albums of the year. I think
Oh, for
it's a
sure.
pretty bad
Unfortunately,
album.
I really wish this could have been good. I mean, I wanted good things from this.
Yeah, especially
you know?
because a lot of the June 2nd albums, they all received hype of some sort. Even this, yes, I know what you're thinking. But Foo Fighters and Rival Sons, I was like, damn, these albums are really great. I'm definitely going to re-listen to these a lot. And then I heard this and I was like, oh my God. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
This album took all of my soul to get through, and it took the life out of me while doing so. All right, so thank you for watching. That was a very interesting review. Definitely probably the funniest review we've done. Not intentionally. We wanted this album to be good, but unfortunately it sucked balls. So yeah, that's our review of this album. It's not good. Don't listen to it. Please save yourself. Don't go and listen to this. Do not buy this album. I mean, you can if you want, but like maybe
You
buy
can't if you
some
want a
ear-
good
ear-
laugh. I would listen.
Yeah, you
maybe-
can if you want to get laugh. Just don't expect
Maybe-
it to be any good.
Yeah, maybe buy some earplugs in the process. So if you end up hating it, you can like just, not listen to it.
It's like
So-
a joke album you play to make your friends mad.
True.
Yeah, no. Fun fact about that is Christoph's first exposure was literally me playing it on his
Oh.
Alexa or whatever because I
I
just
hadn't
wanted
heard
him
it
to
yet,
experience
yeah.
how bad. And then he heard
I was
the
like, what the hell?
I know this might sound crazy vocal line. He was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, no clue. Don't know what this is. But anyway, yeah, that's our review. Really shit album. Don't buy it. Don't listen to it. We'll probably come out with some more reviews soon. I hopefully want to review
Hopefully,
the
have better
Queens of-
albums.
Well, hopefully, because
Most
the next one
likely,
I want the next one I want to review is the new Queens of the Stone Age album, which I thought was pretty good. I haven't rated it
too.
yet, but
I
I
haven't-
want
I
to
haven't
do
listened to it
Extreme as
yet.
well, maybe, because
The
I
singles
like
were
that
good,
album.
but I haven't listened to it yet.
yeah,
Was it good?
yeah,
Anyways.
yeah, it was pretty good.
The singles
So-
are pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just do
Okay.
outro.
All right, thanks for watching and peace out.